Reginald, I need to be honest with you about something.
Okay.
I'm out of build ideas.
Archibald!
I know! I've already been to a doctor. He says it's temporary, but I may need to rely on the bucket.
Archibald, you aren't well. You know what happened the last time we relied on the bucket.
Bah, you're just being paranoid. Let's just grab one out at random and... What the traveler's name are you?
To my friend in build crafting, Archibald. We have a massive problem. While I did my best to contain my machinations from engineering some god-shattering star of a build, my primal instincts took over and I have crafted what can arguably be described as the strongest build in PvP. It's not even a competition. It's like, imagine if a trained US Marine got into a fistfight with the average Fortnite player. I mean, good gracious, it feels like I have minor spec on this build because of the free increased damage I am doing to these kids. Found that this setup allows me to access healing upon hunter dodging, while granting me enough damage to 2-tap enemy brain buckets, and a permanent proximity knife, and maximum handling and reload speed, and a team-wiping super, and if that weren't enough, I found a nifty little glitch that makes my armor flash different colors, all of which I will discuss within the length of this letter. For now, Archibald, I need your help to hide every part of this setup from the public, or else every Guardian will have access to power like this. If you find yourself with no other option to escape questioning, simply point at the nearest door and repeat the following incantation. It's Morbin time. And make your escape. For some reason, anyone under the age of 20 thinks that's the funniest shit they've ever seen, right next to the scientists turning themselves into pickles. Allow me to begin with the weapon. As you know, we are meta-adverse gentlemen of high class. We scorn the perception of stooping as low as to use meta-defining weapons. Yet sometimes we need to remind the common folk of their place. Remind them that there is a reason we withdraw our hands from the well-worn and high-trafficked roads of comfort and familiarity. Remind them of the trembling fear of unequivocated power, of when those of us who hold ourselves back by weighing ourselves down to that which is difficult, unusual, and off-meta run the popular artillery. Remind them of what the horror genre feels like. In other words, Archibald, let us remind them why we do not ever allow vacancy in our inventory for the Ace of Spades. By now, you are of course aware of what makes this weapon so ubiquitous with our meta-wielding adversaries. So rather than drone on like the first 355 seconds of a Rick Caucus video, allow me to actually get to the point and direct your attention to the new Radiant effect. While active, we gain a flat 10% increase in our weapon's damage. This alone allows the ace the freedom to hit a body shot in its 3-tap rhythm of cremation. Yet to stop at this simple increase would be to deny the will of this gun to acquaint every single enemy it encounters with its creator. While both the Memento Mori perk and the Radiant buff are active, we do nearly 30 extra damage, with a headshot going from 70 damage to 99. Dropping one of the most popular weapons' time to kill from a plenty effective 0.87 seconds to an uncontestable and downright game-breaking 0.47 seconds. And in case that bowling ball head of yours still doesn't understand, this is the fastest time to kill of nearly every weapon in the history of Destiny! Breathe, Reginald. Remember your blood pressure. This alone has caused me multiple sleepless nights in fear. Fear over the utter terror and backlash we would face from the higher-ups and Bungie. By God, if they found out we let this damage-stacking combo back into the game, we would surely be seeking new employment in under a week. And you know we would never hear the end of the lecture. Stop breaking the game. And who keeps eating my sandwich? I clearly marked it. Archibald, we already made the mistake of letting the Crucible rabble know about the Monte Carlo and Whisper of Hadron's build back in the day. And look what happened to that. Nerfed! And here we stand yet again at the precipice of greatness. And with one simple slip-up, we may again be right back to having to coerce Twitter threads and Reddit posts into silence. Oh, but this build gets even worse. This is the Caliban's Hand. It can be acquired from selling your soul, completing legendary lost sectors on hunters during weeks when the reward is gauntlets. Its surface level power level is interesting yet difficult to capitalize, like the Volkswagen Beetle with a Formula 1 engine. Yet as soon as one were to actually test fire your proximity knives, one would find out how deceptively effective this can be. This means you can throw your knife into any area you wish, and so long as you don't die or the knife isn't shot, the knife will stay in place, waiting for prey, a bit like the Zur inventory content creators on a Friday morning. And if it doesn't find a target, you will have a full knife charge ready to fire again. Better still, Archibald, if you are wise enough to run the Ember of Torches, which grants Radiant upon melee hits, you can also loop your knife infinitely, so long as you are getting final blows with it, and you have the knock 'em down aspect slotted. Of course, to easily acquire the Radiant effect without having to rely on the knife's damage, we run the Acrobat Dodge. While this does have a rather lengthy cooldown for the normal gravity-adverse hunter movement, its effects are hard to parallel. Upon dodging, you will grant yourself a 10-second period of Radiant, 15 if you have the Ember of Solace fragment. This means that assuming your Memento Mori is active, you will have 15 seconds and 6 shots to sever your enemy's connections to their bodies. If you are seeking a more consistent uptime for your dodges, consider the Aeon exotics. Regardless of your choice, it is imperative that you conceal and silence any contenders looking to snoop the details of your build. I recommend feigning even older age than you currently are, and begin to ramble about the good old days, and start talking about your grandchildren and how scary emails are. Truly, they will assume your abilities to be sheer accident and will cease their questioning. Oh, and, run whatever for your secondary. Personally, I think the slug shotguns fit the bill nicely. But of course, we can make this dodge go from regicide fuel to genocide catalyst. Assuming you have spent enough time avoiding grass and showers like the average Genshin Impact player, you may have unlocked enough mods from the seasonal artifact to have the opportunity to use Classy Restoration. This mod grants us the restoration effect every time we use our class ability. This, in combination with the healing grenades, means we can wrap this build into a nice and pretty bow of 2-tapping combat medic. It's like healing, but in reverse! Using this with the Ember of Benevolence will further upkeep our abilities upon healing or buffing teammates. And lastly, the texture glitch. This one is easy, assuming your armor has some form of texturable glow. If you equip the Crucible Vermilion shader, your armor will enter Bluetooth pairing mode and flash white, then orange, then red. This works well on the Caliban's Hand, specifically with the Play-Doh stuck knives on your exotic gauntlets. With regards, Reginald Cornwall von Skyler.